In a world at war, 36 competitors enter, armed only with their movie trivia knowledge. In the end, only one will survive. Who will stand as the movie trivia face-off Geektacular Champion of the world? It all begins right here, right now, in World War Geek. Welcome, face-off fanatics, to an event full of movie trivia Schmoedown luminaries and hungry competitors. Let's get ready to face off. At number 14, representing Death Proof, Ryan the Caramel Mountain Payne. What's up, face-off fanatics? That's right, I am here, Andrew, the Elk Kelk, on the desk. You are very, very welcome. It is a free-for-all, and it's been exciting so far. We've still got Albert on the table from number 1. He's right there on that first table, first round, and still in the matchup. Good performance by all the rest of them. And of course, I need a partner, a co-host in this, and one of my favorite people in the entire movie trivia Schmoedown galaxy is here to join me. We thank him so much. It wouldn't be a free-for-all without representation for the greatest free-for-all moment of all time. Everybody give it up for Mark, the Android Andraco.
Hey, everybody.
Mark, so glad to have you here. It's been a great match so far, and I'm sure it will continue to be one. We're going to start off, competitors. This is going to be round 8 of your questions, and your first question in this round will be coming to you from the Android himself.
Okay, the first question comes from the category of comic book movies. What is Channing Tatum's spy code name in Kingsman 2, The Golden Circle?
Kingsman films done pretty well for themselves. I didn't like the second one as much, but that church fight scene in the first one is just a thing of beauty.
The second one is a train wreck.
Did give us some wonderful moments that you can meme out, but otherwise not the greatest film I've ever seen. All right, guys, we will give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Mark, you can go to any of the competitors you would like first. You have their names down there with their scores on the bottom.
Okay, I'll just go alphabetically. Andrea.
Okay, tequila.
Caleb.
Tequila.
We can't afford the music rights. We have to cut that out. Ryan.
Tequila.
Nice. And Albert, who inexplicably should be in the
Tequila.
very front of his back. Okay. Yep, that's correct. That's correct.
Well done. Perfect for all of our competitors so far. And with a couple of them hanging around for a while, obviously going to be tough to get points and stay alive. Let's see if you can do it as we move forward into question number 2 in this round, which comes from one of my favorite categories, Star Trek.
What is the name of the outpost much of the finale of Star Trek Beyond takes place?
You enjoy these new Star Trek movies, Mark? Beyond is my favorite.
I think Beyond is the best one. I think Beyond captures the TV show vibe the best. Of the second one, Con one, is just fan fiction of the worst possible way.
That is true, and anytime you can get Simon Pegg doing some writing work, I'm always happy. Carl Urban on screen, always a pleasure as well. All right, guys, let's count you down in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Okay, I'm going to go in a reverse order. Albert, your answer, please.
Yorktown.
Okay, Ryan.
I wrote down Thompson.
Okay, Andrea.
Yorktown.
And Caleb.
Yorktown.
And the answer is Yorktown.
All right, that's a lead for 3 of our competitors. Ryan fought his way back into this matchup, and now he could be in trouble, but of course the round still going on. Let's go to your third question, and that will come to you in the category of movie release dates.
Oh, my least favorite category, except for maybe sports movies. What was the first year since 2008 that the MCU did not release a film? Good question. That's a really good question.
So
Yes, that is absolutely a thinker. Let's go ahead and get that out there for him again. Looks like it broke up a little bit. Guys, what was the first year since 2008 that the MCU did not release a movie after 2008 in the MCU? This is definitely a question that I like, Mark, because it's a thinker. You have to get your release dates in order, and then you have to figure out where they don't fall. I love it.
Yeah, and it's a seemingly difficult question, but if you think about it for a minute, it's an incredibly easy question as well.
And will they get it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
All righty. Let's start with Ryan.
2009.
Okay. And Caleb.
2009.
And Andrea.
2009.
Is it Andrea or Andrea?
Anyone, any which way works.
Oh, I'm marked with a C, so I always try and get people's names right. And Albert.
2009.
The answer is 2004. No, I'm kidding. It's 2009.
Mark is scaring our competitors. I absolutely love it. Mark, mess around with them all you want. Guys, you got 2 questions left in this round. Ryan trailing just behind the other 3 who have not yet missed. Your 4th question is in the category of Marvel.
Okay, here we go. Who directed the film Elektra?
Ooh, the film Elektra. The question is, who saw the film Elektra? And sadly, I am one of those people.
Because when I think exotic, Greek, beautiful women, I think redhead Jennifer Garner.
Well, she is an attractive woman, but not quite the perfect casting. I'll agree with you on that.
It's not as bad as Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's, but it's still like...
All right, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty. Andrea.
I don't know. Brian Singer.
Caleb.
I said Mark Steven Johnson.
Albert.
I had Mark Millar.
And Ryan.
I don't know. I wrote Pete off.
An assemblage of interesting, mostly mediocre people. But no, you missed Rob Bowman from the X-Files.
It turns out everybody forgot about Elektra, and we're still in that same situation with 1 question left to go. Ryan looking to catch the other ones. We could see a sudden death situation for this round if Ryan hits it and everybody else misses, but we can also see some multiple eliminations.
And this next question is from my former stablemate and dear friend, right?
Yes.
It's going to be presented by Miss Rachel Cushing.
In the realm of Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade won an Oscar for what category?
Sorry about that, Mark. Soon to be Mrs. Rachel Cushing. Congratulations to her, of course, and her wonderful fiance, 2 great people in a great community. We love them both, and thank you to Rachel for doing this for us as well.
What was the question? I wasn't able to hear it.
What Oscar did Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade win?
Okay.
I am not a fan of Oscar questions, Mark. I just think there's so much to remember, and it all kind of blends together on you.
Wait a minute. You're talking about inner geekdom playing, about how many hairs were on the mole on the back of Frodo's ear in frame 12 of the cut footage, and Oscars are too specific?
Maybe that's just me, Mark. Let's see if our competitors can get it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty. Let's start with Ryan.
Well, it's fun while it lasted. Sound editing.
Andrea.
Original screenplay.
Caleb.
I said best cinematography, but I think it is sound editing.
And Albert.
I had best production design.
And the answer is sound editing.
We are tied at 4. All of our competitors still alive as we're going to go into a sudden death situation for this round. So the situation is this. Our scores are tied at 3. All 4 competitors still alive, and we go to a special 3-question sudden death round for the elimination. These questions, we will have a couple video questions for you. Mark and Draco will be selecting another question to ask you as well. At the end of these 3 questions, standard rules apply. If you are behind in the last place, you will be be removed from the match. We can still see multiple eliminations. If we are tied at the end of this round, we will continue in sudden death format until we lose a competitor. Good luck to all of you. For your first question, we will be going to a video question, and your category is going to be movie quotes. Let's throw it to that right now.
Your next category is quotes. What Star Trek character says the following line? Do you know of the Klingon proverb that tells us revenge is a dish that is best served cold? It is very cold in space.
It is indeed very cold in space. Another dish best served cold, Mark, gazpacho.
Oh, no. Cold soup. Ugh.
My favorite cold soup is ice cream that you just whip around in your bowl with the spoon.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
As a kid with a Neapolitan, I stirred all of them up so all three blended together.
That is exactly what I used to do. My favorite flavor was all the flavors.
Yeah, unfortunately, it ended up being the color of skin when all mixed together. But
5, 4 on that pleasant thought. 3, 2, and 1.
All righty, Andrea, your guess.
Khan.
Ryan.
Khan.
Caleb.
Khan.
And Albert.
I didn't have it.
It is, in fact, Khan.
Albert falling behind by 1. 2 more questions because he does get that chance, performed so well in the last round. Your next question will be coming from Mark Andraco, and I don't even know the category because I believe it's dealer's choice.
Yeah, okay. Oh, the category is MCU. What is the name of the boy who hosts Tony Stark until he returns to California in Iron Man Part 3?
Iron Man Part 3, one of my not-so-favorite MCU movies from one of my favorite writer-directors.
Yeah, it's sort of the Shane Black version of Dreamcatcher, where it's everything he's ever done thrown into one blender of a movie that's sort of not very satisfying.
It is not a Geektacular movie, but I'm going to recommend it right now. If you have not seen it, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Fantastic film. We'll count them down.
Absolutely. And The Long Kiss Goodnight, even though he just wrote that one. That one's
So
fantastic.
All right, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty. Let's start with Albert.
Harley Keener.
Okay, and Ryan.
Yeah. Harley.
And Albert. Oh, I did Albert already. I'm sorry. Caleb.
Harley.
And Andrea.
I'm pretty sure I got this wrong. I wrote Peter.
And the answer is Harley Keener, but we will accept Harley as well.
All right, so the situation as it stands right now for you competitors, Caleb at 2, Ryan at 2, Andrea at 1, and Albert at 1. We could still see another sudden death round. We could see a multiple elimination. Everybody looking to get points on the board. Nobody is completely safe right here, though we know Caleb and Ryan will be moving on to the next round. But for all our competitors, your next question will be coming to you right now, and it's going to be coming from our special guest, Emma Fife, in the category of Star Wars.
Name 2 of the 3 actors who reprised their live-action roles as voice actors in the animated Clone Wars.
Ooh.
Could you repeat that? It was incomplete on my end.
All right, for Andrea, who's having some technical difficulties, we can absolutely do that.
Sure. Name 2 of the 3 actors who reprised their live-action roles as animated characters in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. That's a really good question, too.
I think there's a lot of great questions on this document. We had some great help from one of our competitors not competing in this match today, and I want to say thank you to them for all the hard work that they put in on this wonderful document. Without you, this match could not go on. Ladies, gentlemen, your answer's in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pens down. Okay, Andrea.
I wrote Samuel L. Jackson, Liam Neeson, and Kenny Baker.
Okay. Albert.
I wrote Samuel L. Jackson and Christopher Lee.
Okay. Ryan.
Samuel L. Jackson and Christopher Lee.
And Caleb.
Samuel Jackson and Frank Oz.
And the acceptable answers were Samuel L. Jackson, Christopher Lee, and Anthony Daniels.
And because Albert got that question right and Andrea missed, unfortunately, that will eliminate Andrea, the Angel Malabag. Thank you, Andrea. Great performance today. Let's get our next competitor in
Bye,
here.
Andrea. Nice to meet you.
Bye, Andrea.
Bye.
Bye, Andrea.
Bye, Andrea.
Andrea.
Number 15. He is nameless Nick Tuhig. All right, nameless Nick Tuhig joining the table. I would be remiss if I didn't point out Caleb Boatman performing very well. He's been there for a while, but Albert Virdarama still on the table from the very first entry. He is doing incredibly well. Good luck in the next round. Let's get to it, Mark.
Okay, and your first question in this round comes from the category of Star Wars. In what film will you see the planet of Takodana? And I can spell that if I mispronounced it.
I think you did pretty well there. All I can think of when I see the word Takodana is this a new menu item at Taco Bell?
Well, if it was spelled like that, that would be on brand for George Lucas. I mean, Planet Calamari.
That's right, guys. It's your brand synergy. You can thank us for that one later. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's start with a new guy. Nick?
Sure, it's Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
All righty. Albert?
Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
And Caleb?
I did not have that. I said Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
And Darth Maul?
I had The Force Awakens as well.
And the answer is The Voyage Home. No, I'm kidding. It's The Force Awakens.
The Voyage Home, my favorite Star Wars movie, Mark.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I love when Princess Leia talks to that whale. All right. Now, don't email these guys. Don't text them. I know the jokes I'm making. Calm down, everyone. The next category is MCU. In Avengers Endgame, what character says, "You're repeating yourself. You're repeating yourself"? The acting's free.
These movie quote questions, I love them because every time I have to read one off, Mark, it is a struggle to not try to do the voice, and sometimes very important for our question asking that you do not do the voice.
Am I allowed to ask if you said character or actor?
Character.
It is the character.
Okay, cool.
Played by a character actor, so yeah.
You're right. No.
It is true. All right, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty. Let's start with Ryan. We'll do reverse this time.
Scott Lang.
Mm-hmm. And Albert?
I wrote on Nebula.
Caleb?
I had Nebula.
And Nick?
Ant-Man.
The answer is Ant-Man, Scott Lang.
All right. People apparently think Nebula. Very, very likely on this one, but it was Scott Lang. Good pull by those two competitors.
Okay, our next question comes from the world of comic book movies. Who directed both of the Kingsman films?
I wonder, Mark, you're big in the comic book sphere. You know quite a few people. You probably know a couple of these people we ask about when these comic book movies come up, don't you?
Yeah. It's a pretty small fraternity. You're in it, and I've been doing it for now 27 years. So.
Well, I'll maintain my professionalism, but after we're off the air, I have a storyline for Marvel's Sleepwalker I want to pitch to you. All right, guys, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just kidding, Mark.
That's fine. I have no pull at Marvel. Okay, Nick.
Matthew Vaughn.
Albert.
Oh, right.
Matthew Vaughn.
Caleb.
Matthew Vaughn.
Ryan.
Matthew Vaughn.
And that is the correct answer.
Across the board.
Like I had to tell you that was the correct answer. All right, next category is Star Wars. On what planet was Galen Erso originally kidnapped from in Rogue One? Ooh. I recognize 3 English words from that sentence.
That is true. This is exactly the way I feel every time a Star Wars question is asked, Mark. They ask for planets, and I'm just sitting back going, I don't know, churro?
Yeah, it's only the original trilogy I remember. Those are the ones I saw in the theaters.
Grew up on them. Wonderful films. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Ryan.
I didn't finish it, but it wasn't the right name. I was going to say Taliana.
Let's see here. Caleb.
Tatooine. Which is very
Albert.
I blanked on it.
And Nick.
It's definitely Earth.
Nope. The answer is Lamu.
Easy for you to say, Mark, or perhaps not.
Yeah, sort of. Okay, and our next question is a special guest pre-recorded one.
Yes, let's throw it over right now to somebody that Mark knows very well, the Crusher herself, Rachel Cushing, with your 5th question in this round.
Back to Middle Earth. How many Middle Earth films has Orlando Bloom played Legolas in?
Orlando Bloom, interesting actor, been in a lot of movies I have not enjoyed very much, but a couple of pretty good performances in his resume. And at this moment, Caleb obviously looking to get on the board. Albert hoping to escape with safety. Nick and Ryan looking very good. Not going to get knocked out in this round. We'll find out what happens in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I actually knew the answer to this one. That's kind of miraculous. All right. Caleb.
I'm not screwing over Albert. # fetus cult faction.
All right. Okay. Albert. All on you, buddy.
I have 5.
Okay. Ryan.
5.
And Nicholas.
I'll miss you, buddy. 5.
And the answer is 12 normal films, but 5 Peter Jackson films.
Booyah.
That is absolutely correct. Looks like a little solidarity in the faction. I appreciate the idea from Caleb there, but hey, Albert did not need your help.
I'll try.
Have a good one.
Number 16. Commentatoring Nerd. All right, we've got the luminary known as Commentatoring Nerd now has entered the match. He is in on the table with some very stiff competition. Couple guys lasting a lot of rounds so far. And Nick Tuhig, I know, a favorite of a lot of people coming into this who knew he was going to be in this matchup. And I have to mention to you all, at this moment, we have Commentatoring Nerd entering. He is entering at the moment at a particular number, and that number is number 15. We are, in fact, missing a competitor, folks. Unfortunately, due to scheduling issues, one of our earlier competitors was not able to make their spot, so they were missed. But don't worry, everything's in order. And now, for all of you on the table, lucky you, one less person to get through to get that whole big prize, that Movie Trivia Face-Off Geektacular Championship around your waist. Let's move on into your next round.
Okay, and for this round, the category of the first question is mixed bag. The question is, the characters of Yogurt, Barf, and this is where you'll all start writing, Dark Helmet are featured in what film?
I absolutely agree. They're definitely going to start writing on that name. And Mark, after this one is done, I'm going to ask you a question and see if you remember the full name of the character who's called Barf. All right, guys, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, let's see here. Let's start with the new guy, commentator or nerd.
Okay, the answer is Spaceballs.
Mm-hmm. Albert?
Spaceballs.
Nicholas?
Spaceballs, watch out.
And Ryan?
I've been jammed. Spaceballs.
That is correct.
All right, good pull from everybody. Bartholomew, the full name of that character.
I would never have known that. All right, our next category is
weapons, technology, and magical objects.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
We just don't have room on our document to write it out full, so it says that WTMO. I apologize, Mark.
I was trying to figure out what the MO stood for. All right, in the category of weapons and stuff, what did Thorin use to protect himself from Azog that earned him a nickname in the Hobbit franchise? I knew this one too. Damn.
Well, you've spent a lot of time around Rachel Cushing, so I imagine just by osmosis, you probably know the names of all the Elven Kings.
Well, Eric Zipper's my roommate, and he's competing in their geekdom, so I've been quizzing him with Smet's box of questions. So, yeah, just by osmosis, I know stuff I never needed to know.
It's lovely to hear about the great community in the Schmoedown. We have a great community here in the face-off as well, including these 4 competitors who will have to answer in 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, I skipped 5. Nick, I see you there.
Alrighty, let's start with Ryan.
I believe it is an oak tree branch.
Okay. Albert.
I wrote an oaken branch used as a shield.
Okay. Nicholas.
I also wrote an oaken branch as a shield.
And commentating nerd.
I didn't have anything.
Yes, and you guys all did great because oak was the specific. It's thorn oaken shield. Congratulations. All right, our next category. What is Captain Marvel's Kree name?
And you said you had no pull over at Marvel, Mark, but I will ask you this question. If you could see any DC property, perhaps Manhunter excluded for personal reasons, adapted into a film at this point, what do you think would be the best choice?
I have a take for Hawkman that I've wanted to do forever. That's sort of Gladiator meets Born Identity. I think you could do a really great, brutal sort of Hawkman film. That's pretty much it. Most of them have already been seen in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, I am looking forward to the Snyder cut, though. So you can all come at me for that, but that's fine.
All right, shut up and take my money, Mark. Let's do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's start with commentating nerd.
Okay. The answer is Veers.
And Nick.
Weird.
Ryan.
Yeah, Veers.
And Albert.
Veers.
That is correct for all of you. That means an entirely different thing on my dating app, but good to know. Alrighty, that one bombed. Okay. In the next
I think we were all
category-
just worried about saying something we might later regret, Mark.
Oh, that's never the case. As in like a good legal drama, I opened the door. Okay, in comic book movies, who plays Bruce Banner's father in 2003's underrated Hulk?
That, I believe, is in fact a hot take, Mark. I know a lot of people out there not fans of this movie. I think there's some great visual stuff in it. I don't know that it's going to enter my top 10 anytime soon, though.
I could make it enter your top 10 if they gave me $1 million and 2 days of extra shooting.
Once again, Mark, shut up and take all the money I've got. I love everything you've done so far, so I'm sure you could. Folks, we're counting you down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And let's go to Albert.
Nick Nolte.
Alrighty, and Nick.
Nick Nolte.
Ryan.
Nick Nolte.
And Mr. Nerd, didn't get it. Okay,
No.
Yes, the answer is Nick Nolte. And the scene I would add, the thing that would make that movie better, would be a scene at the very beginning with Bruce, Betty, and their golden retriever having a lovely picnic in Golden Gate Park. Because we never once see them happy. The entire movie is very dour. If we had one scene of them happy, much like that scene of Wolverine cage fighting in X-Men, you never have to go back to it. We know it. So watch it
Very
again
good.
with that in mind.
That's some character development advice from a man who knows a little bit about writing comic book characters, and it's all kind of a moot point right now. We actually do know who's going out on this, but for point scoring purposes, and of course for that potential MVP title, we are going to ask you your 5th and final question. That will come to you from Mrs. Emma Fife.
In the category of Wizarding World, how does Harry describe his kiss with Cho Chang to Ron in Order of the Phoenix?
Yes, it's true, folks. Harry Potter does, in fact, kiss and tell.
No, too bad.
The girl's name could be a little bit more not racist, but that's okay.
Well, it does have that comic book alliteration going for it. Sorry, Ryan, did you have something to say?
No, I'd argue the casting because the name.
All right, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alrighty, let's start with Ryan.
He said it was wet.
And Nick.
Yeah, wet.
Commentator.
Wet.
Wow, that's an awesome board.
It is an amazing board indeed.
And Albert.
What?
Yep.
And unfortunately, we will be seeing the end of that wonderful board. We will be seeing commentating nerd heading on out. He had a great round, 3 points, not that bad, but perfect rounds across the board for everybody else. And right now, Albert, Nick, and Ryan all lasting real well. They are looking like the table to beat. Is it going to be a hot seat? Is it going to be hot potato? Who's going to come in next? And will they be able to last against these three? Let's find out.
Number 17, Nico, the Cosmic Night Fury, Rigoli.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Cosmic Night Fury now on the table. Welcome to Nico Suave Rigoli, and he is in against what is so far shaping up to be a murderer's row. We got Nick, we got Ryan, and we got Albert all performing incredibly well. Once again, Albert from that very first table. And we are going to get into your next round, guys. Make it nice and easy for me and Mark here as we'll kick it off with a question for one of our special guests. Let's take it to Chandru the Chosen.
Your next category is DCEU. How many adopted siblings does Billy Batson have in Shazam?
Really enjoyed this film. Not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but man, it is a good time at the movies.
Yeah, with the exception of one scene, I think it's a really good family film.
Ooh, now I'm going to have to rack my brain and see if I can figure out just which one you're talking about. I think I know.
I'll tell you after we answer the question.
All right. I am excited about that. So let's give them a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And remember, for this answer, you have to have them in chronological order. Just kidding.
Oh, we should have told them that.
Just kidding. All right, let's start with the new guy, Nico.
5.
All righty. Nick.
Yeah, 5.
Ryan.
5.
And Albert.
It's not chronological, but 5.
Yes, and that is the correct answer. The scene I would have cut would have been the boardroom scene. I think the boardroom scene is overly gratuitously violent, and we never see those demons do anything that effective for the rest of the movie. All they do for the rest of the movie is go booga booga to the kids. I actually covered my 7-year-old nephew's eyes during that part because I don't mind violence, but that was just gratuitous and sadistic and felt tonally from a different movie.
Little over the top indeed.
Still a great movie though. Still a lot of fun. Alrighty, let's go to our next category, which is the Wizarding World. Who was the only wizard killed when escorting Harry in the Escape from the Dursleys in Deathly Hallows Part 1?
Well, yeah. Well, that movie did actually get a little bit darker. Maybe not quite as gratuitous as what you were mentioning from Shazam, but I do love these Wizarding World films. Oh, so
well, the Harry Potter movies get darker as they get older. That what happens in life. That I have no problem with that because we grew up with those books. I just felt the Shazam scene was like, what movie are you watching?
You heard it from Mark Andraco, folks. It only gets worse from here. No, I'm just kidding. 5, 4.
I don't have to tell anybody that.
3, 2. I follow your Twitter, Mark. I know you do sometimes. 1.
Alrighty, Albert.
Mad-Eye Moody.
Ryan.
Yes. Mad-Eye Moody.
Nick.
Yeah, Alistair Mad-Eye Moody.
And Nico.
I got his wand at Universal. Mad-Eye Moody.
That sounds very provocative. Yes, it is Mad-Eye Moody.
Not what I meant. No.
Mark, come back
anything wrong with
anytime.
That, no.
Subtext is important. All right, our next question is from the category of mixed bag. Ooh, this is a good one, and I knew this one too. What character does Leonard Nimoy voice in Transformers, the movie?
A couple of really amazing and standout voice performances in this film, which I will point out once again does start off with something that for children who love the Transformers might be a bit gratuitous, but great film. I am old enough to have actually seen it way back when. All right, guys, let's give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty, Nico.
Optimus Prime.
Ryan.
Centennial Prime?
Nick.
Yeah, I had no idea. Optimus Prime.
And Albert.
Sentinel Prime.
And the answer was Galvatron.
Galvatron.
Wait, Wait, which Transformer was this?
Transformer,
animated
the
one.
movie.
The animated movie.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
Transformers from Michael Bay is just called Transformers, and Transformers the movie is the animated one. Thus, the question: which character does Leonard Nimoy voice in Transformers the movie?
And ironically, the animated movie had more human emotion.
By far.
Let's see here. And our next question. Ooh, another good one. Who directed Star Trek, the motion picture?
Star Trek, the motion picture. Oh, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. This one, not my favorite. A lot of shots of the Enterprise flying through space, but it is a beautifully shot picture. So kudos to the director on that.
I actually enjoy this one a lot. I love the twist. I love the twist at the end.
It's very Star Trek of them. Very much like I say, Insurrection is actually one of the most TNG movies of the TNG Star Treks. All right, guys, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty. Let's start with Albert.
Robert Weiss.
Nico.
Didn't have it.
Nick.
Albert's kicking butt, man. Robert Wise.
And Ryan.
No, I didn't have it.
Albert
And
is
the answer
indeed
is?
kicking.
Robert Wise.
Albert indeed doing very well in this matchup so far, kicking butt from table number 1. Great work, Albert. And with one question left to go, guys, the situation is Albert and Nick at 3, Ryan and Nico at 2. So Ryan and Nico have to hit to stay alive, but they're very close, so anything could still happen. And boys, your question will be coming to you from our special guests once again. So let's throw it over to the former Inner Geekdom and Tag Team Champion, Rachel the Crusher Cushing.
Back to the category of Middle Earth. What finger does Gollum bite off of Frodo in Return of the King?
Ooh, that Gollum always causing people trouble.
I don't really know how to phrase this.
All right, very tense. Everybody very close.
You need the hand it was on, or
just the finger?
Just the finger.
Got it.
I had a
All right,
nickel
guys.
for every time I heard that.
At 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm never being asked back.
If I have anything to say about Mark, you will absolutely be back as many times as we can have you.
All righty. Let's start with who laughed the most. Albert.
Is it index finger?
Ryan.
I may have gone with the obvious. I said ring finger.
Nick.
I called it the pointer finger. Is what I believe it's called.
And Nico.
His index finger? Question mark.
And the correct answer is index finger. Question mark.
Yes.
Yes.
And pointer finger, as we know, is another word for this finger right here, your index finger. So we're going to give that point to him. With that, Ryan, Caramel Mountain Pain, well fought, has been eliminated.
Number 18. Ikaika, the Wilhelm Screener, Shively.
All right, Ikaika Shively joining the desk now. We've got some competitors on there who are doing some damage. Let's see if Ikaika can make a name for himself, potentially still win that MVP, as we're only about halfway through the match so far. Your first question will come from movie release dates, and Mark will give you that.
Okay, here. Oh, here's a good one. What year was the Shaquille O'Neal, Annabeth Gish magnum opus Steel released?
Mark Andraco, I will tell you right now, I am a master at sucking up to people, and I've been doing it all day with you, but I think on this one, I'm going to disagree. Anything with steel involved is not a good one.
Oh, I was speaking with my tongue firmly in my cheek. That movie is unwatchable. That movie makes Supergirl look like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Grew up watching Supergirl on VHS, and when I was very little, I was dumb enough to think it was good. Gentlemen, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And you all better have been alive the year this movie was made, or I'm leaving. Okay, let's start with Akaika.
1996.
Nico.
I was 2 years old, 1997.
Nick.
97.
And Albert.
I was -2 years old, 97.
And that means Mark Andreyko going to have to get out of here because 1997 was the correct answer. Points on the board for everybody but Ikaika, but he was very close.
Okay, our next category comes from the world of Marvel films. What is the letter designation of Tessa Thompson's character in Men in Black International?
Speaking of great films.
Let's talk about one.
There you
There are
go.
many
I
to choose
set him
from.
up. I set him up. He takes it out of the park. Let's give you another couple seconds, gentlemen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's start with the new guy. Ikaika, what is your answer?
I said Agent M. I don't know. I didn't see that movie.
Nobody did. Albert.
I also had M.
Nico?
I thought about M and then went with V.
And Nick.
Agent O.
Oh, so close, but it was Agent M.
Yes.
Kaika with the guess. Any point you can get in this format is obviously very, very valuable.
Okay, our next question comes from the category of Star Trek. Who directed Star Trek Nemesis?
And Mark, I'm looking over at Albert right now, and I've got to take a moment and say he is looking pretty unstoppable so far. He tends to be ahead in his rounds. He always gets the answers at the end to stay alive, and it served him well all the way from the beginning of this match. Very impressive performance thus far.
So he's the Bibiani of this one?
As of yet, is undetermined, but Albert does have that chance. If he can last all the way, he might even do something Bibiani didn't and go to the end and win the damn thing. Love you, Bibiani. That's not a knock, I promise. 5, 4.
It's funny because it's true.
3, 2, 1.
All righty. Okay, let's start with our presumptive leader, Albert.
Stuart Baird.
Nico.
I had Jonathan Frakes.
Nick.
Stuart Baird.
And Ikaika.
Nothing.
And the answer is Stuart Baird.
Oh, crap.
All righty. Our next category is MCU. And the question is, what planet is Ronan the Accuser trying to use the Power Stone to destroy in the original Guardians of the Galaxy?
Ronan the Accuser, a wonderful actor, once again suffering from the Marvel villain problem of too much makeup on your face.
Yes, but that's the only place where he has prosthetics, so that's a good job, as opposed to like being Nebula or Drax. If I'm gonna, yeah.
And wonderful makeup work across the board in the MCU films. I think they did a fantastic job, as did everyone attached, obviously, in that cinematic universe.
Oh yeah, the Ronan makeup is one of the best from the
4,
page to the screen.
3, 2, 1.
All righty, let's start with Nick.
Xandar.
Nico.
Xandar.
Ikaika.
I had a brain fart. I got nothing.
And
I
Albert.
knew it too. Xandar.
That is correct.
Perhaps
For
this is what...
bonus,
Go ahead.
bonus points that mean nothing, what hero and his group are based on Xandar?
I know this one.
Nova.
You don't have to write it down. Nova Corps.
The Nova Corps, yep.
I overthought it.
I do love the fact that Glenn Close played a Nova Corps member. What is the world we live in?
Destroying Xandar for the Power Stone. Perhaps that's what Thanos actually meant when he said, if you want it done right, you have to do it yourself. And your final question in this round. Right now, Albert completely safe. Nick is not going anywhere. Ikaika could take out Nico if he hits and Nico misses. Nico looking to get that point to stay safe himself. Your final question, question number 5. Let's go to Emma Fife.
In the category of comic book movies, in what film based on a graphic novel does Paul Giamatti play comic writer Harvey Picar?
Fun fact, Mark, when we were recording this with Emma, I was present, and she had to double check and make sure that she was getting the pronunciation of Picar correct.
Mm-hmm. I knew
Very
Harvey.
professional. Oh, did you?
Yeah, I know. I did a horror movie with Toby Radloff in real life called Girlfriends, where I get murdered by lesbian serial killers.
More tales of the lifestyles of the rich and the famous from Mark Andreyko. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's start with Nick.
It's between American Splendor, but I wrote Art School Confidential.
And Nico.
I have nothing, and I'm really hoping Akaika missed this one.
And Akaika.
I guessed I just went with Constantine. I had no idea.
And Albert.
I went with American Splendor.
And Albert is correct.
Perfect round for Albert and Ikaika. Unfortunately, not able to pull the answer. Nico, you got lucky on this one. Ikaika, thank you for joining us in World War Geek. You will
Thanks,
not be winning
Ikaika.
that big title. Our other 3 still could, as could our next competitor, so let's bring them in. At number 19, the current number 1 contender for the singles title, Nazario, Mr. VHS Montenegro.
Alrighty, our first question in this round is from the category of the Wizarding World. In which Wizarding World film do you see the character of Nicholas Flamel?
Creator of a very important item in the Wizarding World lore.
It's a shame these movies don't have writers.
I mean, I think people call J.K. Rowling a writer, but... All right, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's start with Nazario, the new guy.
Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Okay, and Nico.
Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald.
And Nick.
Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald.
And Albert.
Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald.
That is correct. What were his crimes? Did he commit any crimes in that movie? Other than being Johnny Depp?
Escaping prison and possibly unlawful gathering.
Ah, okay. We need some wizarding social distancing. All righty. Our next category is weapons and stuff. What's the full category name?
Weapons, technology, and magical objects.
Yes, that category. Who puts the yellow power ring on in the post-credit scene of the classic comic book groundbreaking film Green Lantern?
Great chemistry between Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds in this film. And beyond that...
Yeah.
Blake Lively for Lady Deadpool, anyone?
Although, I did enjoy Taika Waititi in this as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty. Albert.
Sinestro.
Nazario.
Sinestro.
Nick.
Sinestro.
Nico.
Sinestro.
And that is correct.
The Green Lantern Guardians need to check those resumes better. I think the big flag on this one, his name is Sinestro.
Yeah. Let's see here. And our next category is...
Movie release dates.
Oh, okay. Thank you. You know my weaknesses. Name one of the 2 years that saw the release of a film in each of these franchises within it. Star Trek, The Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and the X-Men franchises.
That is a thinker. I love when we throw these questions out there. You don't have to know one movie in this year. You have to know 3 movies. All competitors doing very well, though. Tied up at the moment.
Am I allowed to repeat?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, or did I just overstep?
Nope, that's perfectly fine. We're going to give you a repeat, Nico. Not too many uses of repeats, so do use them sparingly, please, guys. But yes, we can give you a repeat on this one, and I'll give you a shorter time, about 5 seconds, once Mark has finished asking the question.
Name one of the 2 years that saw the release of a film from each of the following franchises within its calendar year. Star Trek, The Wizarding World, and the X-Men franchises.
And gentlemen, your guesses or your answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty. Let's start with Nazario.
2016.
And Nico?
Also 2016.
And Nick?
2016.
And Albert?
Also 2016.
That is correct. The other year was 2009.
That's correct. 2 answers you could have used on that one, and still tied up. What an exciting round as we get into your second to last question.
All right, this comes from the category of MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What holiday does Killian meet Tony for the first time in Iron Man 3? I would love it if it was Tu B'Shvat, which is the tree planting day in Israel.
Are you sure, Mark, that it's not Festivus?
Yes, and the late, great Jerry Stiller.
We love you, Jerry Stiller, R.I.P. Gentlemen, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's start with Nico.
New Year's.
Albert.
New Year's.
Nick.
New Year's Eve.
And Nazario.
I also put New Year's Eve.
Okay, we need to go to the judges on this one because the answer is New Year's Eve. New Year's implies New Year's Day, which is a different holiday.
But they do the countdown. They do the countdown from New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, so you can see where
they met on New Year's Eve. They met on the other day. They met on the 31st, even though it goes into the 1st. So I'm a visitor here. That's just my 2 cents. I will defer to whatever you think.
I think it is only fair that we do take a moment. We will go to our line judges, and we will determine whether or not New Year's is acceptable or if New Year's Eve is the only acceptable answer. Just one moment. All right, we are back, and after review, New Year's Day is a different day than New Year's Eve. The initial meeting takes place on New Year's Eve, so that means 2 of our competitors have that question correct, and 2 more just missing out. Let's get those scores updated for you now. Very crucial miss as well, Mark, because with that miss, all the competitors had been perfect to that point. Now 2 of them trailing, looking to catch back up and putting themselves potentially in danger. So the ones who set New Year's Eve on their boards are very happy with that decision. I'm sure we'll get some angry letters from the rest. You can address all of those to David, the Spaniard Garcia.
And I was Nazario and Nick, I believe, that had New Year's Eve.
I believe that was correct. Yes, Nazario and Nick taking the lead into your final question, which will come to you in the category of comic book movies and from Rachel the Crusher Cushing.
Your next question comes from the world of comic book movies. What film, based on a graphic novel, was directed by 4-time Oscar winner Bong Joon-ho?
Good year last year for Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah, 4 Oscars in one time. That's awesome. The storyboards from that just came out as a hardcover graphic novel for Parasite.
That is probably one of the most gorgeous things you will ever see. Also gorgeous. Correct answers. Well, they have them in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, Albert.
Snowpiercer.
Nick.
Snowpiercer.
Nico.
I think I'm done. I just figured this guy had a bad year. The Green Hornet.
And Nazario.
Snowpiercer.
And the answer is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3: The Secret. No, it's Snowpiercer.
It is, in fact, Snowpiercer. Nico, thank you so much. With that narrow miss, I got to imagine that Albert is feeling thrilled to stay alive. Nico's going to be heading on out of here. Let's get our next competitor into the table.
Your number 20 entry, Jack the Mayor.
Jack the Mayor on the table, and a dangerous table it is, obviously. Everybody performing well so far, particularly Albert. Once again, I'm going to call it out at this point, the presumptive MVP of the event, as he has lasted all the way into this, our 15th round of competition, which we will kick off with your first question from Chandru the Chosen Dandapani.
All right. Your next category is movie release dates. What year did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 come out?
Ah, Mark, I think I see what you were thinking of on that last one. All right. What year did it come out? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty. Jack, your answer, please.
Total guess, 1995.
Nazario.
93.
Nick.
Total guess, 1995.
Albert.
I went with 1996.
One of you was correct, and that would be Nazario.
And I think he knew it.
All righty. Our next question comes from the world of DC. In Teen Titans Go to the Movies, what actor do the Teen Titans fight on set?
I'll give you the Fight Club question if I can, Mark. What actor would you fight?
Did I don't like?
I would imagine you're fighting.
Gosh, who would I like to fight? Miles Teller.
Interesting choice. Also, he seems like a strong young man. I think that might be taking a bit of a risk.
Yeah, I got 50 years of rage bottled up in this body, so
right,
you know.
Guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty, let's start with Albert.
Nicolas Cage.
And Nick.
Shia LaBeouf.
Nazario.
Shia LaBeouf.
And Jack.
I also put Nicolas Cage.
Two of you are correct. And that would be Just Do It, Shia LaBeouf.
This is a situation we have not yet seen, Mark. Albert is now trailing 2 of his opponents, not something he is used to so far in this matchup.
Okay, things are getting hot. Let's get into the next question here. Scores and soundtracks. What song did infamous ginger Ed Sheeran write for Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug?
That's a fun word. Smaug.
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 Infamous Ginger sounds like a great album title, doesn't it?
Or a band name, definitely.
Or a band name, yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty. Let's start with Jack.
Eye of the Mountain. I don't know. I don't like Ed Sheeran. Not a fan.
Sorry. Nazario.
I See Fire.
Nick?
I picked a random lyric from the song, Fire and Smoke.
And Albert.
I wrote down Inferno.
And the answer is I See Fire.
And Nazario on fire. 3 questions up, 3 questions.
You jinxed Albert.
Albert
you
and Jack
jinxed him.
Still looking to get on the board. He could still survive this round, but he's going to have to get there quickly. Penultimate question coming your way.
He's going to have to get there quickly and hope that Jack misses. Oh, this is exciting. Okay. The next question comes from Marvel. Who voiced Vanessa Fisk in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? That is a great question.
I was going to say the same thing, Mark. I love this question almost as much as I love this movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. If you haven't seen it, go do it now.
Man, all of the characters.
Okay.
So this is a good question.
You're welcome to pass that one on to Skaliski and let him steal it from us. We don't mind. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty. I'll give you a hint before you turn your boards around. In a World, what actress plays Vanessa Fisk? Albert?
This is not right, but Lily Tomlin.
Nick?
I don't know, Diane Lane.
Nazario?
I guess Famke Jensen.
And Jack?
Naomi Watts?
No, the answer is Blake Bell.
Ooh.
Blake Bell. Ooh.
So we got one more question left, and that's a Wizarding World question from Emma. And Albert and Jack, if they both get it and Nick gets it wrong, Nazario is the only one moving forward. If Jack or Albert get it wrong and one of them gets it right, Nick and whoever gets it right will stay. So Nazario, this one is a gimme, but for the other gentlemen, I guess we're going to the tape.
That's right. Let's get it over to Emma Fife.
In the category of Wizarding World, what is revealed to be Credence's real name in Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald?
Now, I am a Wizarding World fan. I once competed in a match against Robert Parker, who you know, Mark, and did, I think, fairly well. So for me, maybe I'm just misjudging this, but I think we might see some correct answers here. I think this is trouble for Albert and Jack. We will find out, however, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty. Albert.
Aurelius Dumbledore.
Jack.
Aurelius Dumbledore.
Nick.
Aurelius Dumbledore.
And Nazario.
I only got a Dumbledore.
And with that, Albert and Jack have been eliminated. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone on the table, please put your hands together for Albert Weirdorama, lasting from table number 1 all the way through round number 15. What an amazing performance, Albert. You have nothing to hang your head about.
Oh, not at all. That's impressive.
Seeing you back in some more matches real soon. But everyone else at the table must be breathing a sigh of relief with Albert and Jack going out after what they've done so far in this matchup. Let's get them on out of here and get our final 2 competitors in with Mark, the Android, and Draco.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Your number 21 entrant, Antonio the Assassin Chavez. Entering at number 22, Dave the Dragon Lees.
Okay, our first question in this round comes from the category of Star Trek. Which 2 Star Trek films did Jonathan Frakes direct?
2 of my favorites.
Just the subtitles?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Great.
And their release dates in South Korea.
Yes, at this point we will be asking for that just to give you some. No, stop writing, guys. Stop writing. 5.
And they would probably get it right, so I need to shut up.
2, 1.
All righty, let's start with the new guy, Dave.
First Contact and Nemesis.
And Antonio.
I got First Contact and Insurrection.
Nazario.
First Contact and Insurrection.
And Nick.
I wrote them backwards, but Insurrection, First Contact.
And the answers are First Contact and Insurrection.
Jonathan Frakes supposed to direct Nemesis, but then they handed it over to somebody else, and we got that movie.
What's the one where they're on the weird planet with like the hippie cult and F. Murray Abraham?
Insurrection.
That's Insurrection.
Yeah.
That I think is the worst one. That's worse than the one that Shatner directed.
Ooh, big strong statement.
Oh, it's so bad. But I like the whale one, so I probably have no credence to it. Okay, next category is from the Indiana Jones franchise. Who played young Indiana Jones in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? You know what wasn't a bad TV show? The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Not at all. I am in fact old enough to remember watching that on television, and it was a pretty solid series. Yeah,
and incredibly educational. They should show that in schools to young kids because the globetrotting and the geography and stuff.
Well, when the teacher has to bust out the VCR and the TV into the room on one of those slow days, they could definitely do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty, Nick.
River Phoenix.
Dave.
River Phoenix.
Antonio.
River Phoenix.
And Nazario.
River Phoenix.
Yes, that is correct. The late lamented, much missed River Phoenix. All righty. Our next question comes from the world of DC. Andrea Berloff directed what 2019 female-led DC film?
I don't know if this is a head scratcher, Mark, because sometimes I just don't know the answer when everybody else does, but that seems like a tough one to me.
Yes, it's DC, not DCEU. Remember, those are two separate things.
All right, and we will count them down in 5, 4, 3,
Repeat,
2.
All righty, the repeat is Andrea Berloff directed what 2019 female-led DC film?
I will remind our competitors, for speed, we will allow you 1 or 2 repeats throughout the course of the match as you last through rounds, but we are asking that you do not overuse the repeats. Try not to use them too much in this free-for-all format. And we will count you down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All righty, let's start with Nazario.
I have no idea.
Nick.
The kitchen.
Antonio.
Damn it, I guess Birds of Prey.
And Dave.
I had the kitchen and erased it to put nothing.
And the answer is The Kitchen, because The Kitchen is based on a Vertigo miniseries published by DC Comics. And it is a dreadful, dreadful film.
I think Dave the Dragon Lee is going to very much regret wiping that off his board as he now finds himself trailing at 1 point. Nick with 3, Antonio and Nazar at 2 apiece.
All righty. Our next question comes from the category of Middle-earth. Smaug attacks what town in the opening of The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies?
Quickly to the boards, and no surprise on this one. I imagine even if they haven't seen these movies, which they certainly have, they've probably read the books, at least a couple of them.
I can't wait for Dune. That's the thing I'm looking forward to.
Do not tease me, Mark. I cannot wait for that film. Going to be so good. 5.
And I asked a buddy of mine. I'll tell you after this.
3, 2, 1.
All righty. Let's start with Dave.
Lake Town.
Antonio.
Damn it, I said Folktown.
Nazario.
Lake Town.
And Nick.
Did you say Desolation of Smog? I said Dale.
I did say
the Battle of the Five.
Battle of Five Armies. Battle of Five Armies.
Oh, well, I misheard. My bad.
Okay. The answer was Lake Town or Esgaroth.
Very close for a couple of our competitors there. And Mark, you were telling a tale. I would not want to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was trying to figure out who was going to play Fade Routha in the Dune movie, and Villeneuve said Fade's not in the first half, so he hasn't cast it yet.
That's a juicy little bit of information, and you can get it only here at the Movie Trivia Face-Off, folks. Also, some movie trivia questions like this. Your final question in the round, gentlemen, coming in scores and soundtracks, and that question will be asked by Rachel Cushing.
All right, in the category of scores and soundtracks, who composed the score to Batman: Mask of the Phantasm?
And a wonderful score it is. Love the music in this film. And a close matchup as well. Mark, we have Dave and Antonio both hoping to hit this, that the other one does miss it. Nazario and Nick, not safe. This could end up in all sorts of situations. Everyone could be tied, or we could see multi-eliminations. What's going to happen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
All righty. Let's start with Nick.
I believe it's Shirley Walker.
And Antonio.
Just said Danny Elfman.
And Dave.
I had Cheryl Walker.
And Nazario.
I said Hans Zimmer.
It was indeed Shirley Walker.
And with that, Antonio and Dave have been eliminated. Dave is kicking himself in the butt right now for erasing that one answer, because he would still be alive to move to our next round. We will see the end of 2 great competitors. Thank you, gentlemen. And that will also be all our time with a wonderful special guest. As always, I suggest you follow him on social media. Check him out on the Schmoedown. We love Mark Andraco, and we want to thank you very much, Mark, for joining us here today.
My pleasure, guys.
Guests.
Good luck. Good luck.